testing. Welcome, guys, and thank you for coming, and congratulations on rounding out the podium here. 75% of our way through the 2022 Lucas Oil Championship, and championships only separated by 1 point. And you three riders seem to be the perennial top three each race. So, Chase, you had a fantastic day, one of those days that most riders dream of. So tell me what it is about Unadilla that you like so much, and what was so special about today.
Yeah, I've always liked this track. I've been here, I think it's my 5th time. So, and today was a lot different, honestly. I think every time I've came here, it's either rained before or it's been raining. So the track is really soft and more rutted than today. And in practice, I was really struggling with that, trying to adapt to it being drier and choppy. And so we had to make not a lot of bike changes, but a decent amount compared to what I have been. So it was good. I didn't change it from Moto 1 to Moto 2, which was nice. But yeah, today was awesome. I like the rutted conditions, and it's kind of what I grew up riding on, the more hard pack, longer ruts, and it paid off today. I felt really comfortable, even though the track could bite you really, really easily. And I had a few close calls, especially at first moto. So you really had to be on your game, and today was one of those days where I felt like I was kind of not cruising, but I felt like I was in control really good, and I was flowing really well.
And Eli, yourself, I mean, some people say, oh, 2 second place finishes, that's, bad for Eli. But to be honest with you, this is not your favorite track, and you really haven't done that well here. So to come away with 2 seconds, I think you probably have to think it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it as the cup being half full, it was a decent day. Looking back at the past couple of years here, and I put myself in a great position the first lap with good start, seeing the whole shot of Moto 2, so that was sweet, and did what I could, made some small adjustments for Moto 2, and wasn't enough. Obviously, Chase was on fire today, and I don't know, man. Yeah, me in this place had my number.
And Jason, I don't mean to call you Mr. Third Place, but hey, 4 third places in a row, 5 out of the last 6, and I think your other one was a 4th place finish. So you've obviously found your speed. Your win at Hangtown was excellent, no question about it. But you've had some ups and downs in the series, but now you've seemed to settle in, and being third behind these two guys is nothing to be ashamed of by any means. These guys are riding at a fantastic level. So how was your day? How are you feeling your riding, and at what level do you feel like you're performing right now?
Yeah, for me, it's obviously it's kind of tough being third, because you kind of want to see improvements, but these guys are riding really good, and for me, it's one of my best outdoor seasons I've had so far, and I don't want to ride over my head or do anything crazy. I just kind of want consistent progress, and that's kind of what I'm looking at right now, because I'm pretty far out, and there's way too much ground to make up with how good these guys are riding, and the way the field is. So I think if I can get closer to them and try and make some good progress, just to help myself develop my bike and get better for myself, and try and be ready for next year, to try and keep the ball rolling, get some good momentum, and I think that's what my goal is right now.
Well, Eli and Chase both, I hosted Southwick press conference there, and one of the things I like to do is reach out to some of the people on Instagram or Facebook and just, hey, throw up some questions. What would you like to, if you had the opportunity, to ask the podium finishers questions? And one of a question that I had from Jacob London up in Hayden, Idaho, he was asking something that Chase touched on. This track today, particularly, you guys go from track to track. His question was setting up your bike from a different track to track, but for me, that was similar to a question that was asked earlier in the year, but I want to take it to that next level. What about this track in particular? Chase, you talked about this was not the traditional setup that you see in the prep that you see at Unadilla. When you arrived here and you took your first laps of the morning, from that moment till the race, what did you guys change on the bike? Or you don't have to be specific, but in general, since the track was so different than a traditional Unadilla. Let's go with Chase to start with, sorry.
I think it was more back to how Unadilla used to be from back in the day when it was grass, kind of, not totally, because it was obviously ripped, but it was the first lap we were kicking up dust in our qualifying, and it was kind of powdery and not super deep from what I was used to in the past. So that was something I had to adjust to. I was honestly coming here expecting really, really long ruts and it being somewhat soft, but I don't think they've had much rain here, and it's kind of hard to get it in the ground once you don't really have any rain. So yeah, they did the best they could. When they ripped it after practice, I knew it was going to be better for the motos, but it still got pretty choppy, and I think they did a good job. It was consistent, at least. It wasn't like deep in some spots and slick in the others. It was kind of just overall hard packed, and it had a lot of options for lines. So that was nice.
You mentioned bike setup, small adjustments between the first practice session and the first moto.
Yeah, I just kind of had to free up the bike. My bike felt pretty rigid in practice, and I was kind of riding like a hack, and it didn't really help that. So I kind of had to tell myself to be a little bit more patient and not override the track, because it was really easy to do today. So that was one change, and then just freeing up the bike a little bit, not being so it felt pretty dead and stiff, which is normally on different tracks. It is when they're softer, you get away with that, but here you got to have a little bit more of a free bike, and that's kind of what we did.
And Eli, how about yourself? Bike setup change from first practice to the race?
Yeah, gosh, I mean, kind of the same thing. I think all the guys were probably feeling the same thing, and it just because it was such a dry, hard base, and yeah, we kind of went the same direction too. I made a bigger change between Moto 1 and Moto 2 than say practice to Moto 1.
And yourself, Jason?
Yeah, for me, I didn't make any changes today at all. I just kind of kept my bike. I felt like it was working pretty good for what we had in the first few practices, but I really don't think anyone's bike felt awesome today for how choppy it was and stuff like that. And yeah, it's tough on race day because you only have a certain amount of opportunities to make a bike change, and you're just hoping that it's a positive one. So for me, I felt like my bike was within the ballpark of me being comfortable, so I just rolled with it.
And Chase, knowing the history, obviously, the 250 guys didn't seem to realize the history of Unadilla, but you clearly do when you talk about the back in the day at Unadilla. I mean, when they had the amateurs on the day before and how the track would change, and you know the history of Unadilla. So getting your name on a trophy here, being first place at Unadilla and an iconic track like this, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. This is one of my favorite tracks to come to, obviously, and it has a lot of history. I got on the podium here, I think, in 2019, and then last year I had a good race, but first one I crashed myself out. So I've been wanting to do good here for a long time. Just when it used to be grass as a start, and it was just a different race, and it was cool to see. And I remember Ricky and James, when James landed on Ricky here, it's kind of an iconic track and it's had a lot of good races. So for me, the layout's awesome. We got to go up on the top of the hill today for the monster thing, and got to kind of check out the track from up there, and it's pretty cool, and it's a beautiful place. So I'm pumped on how today went, and happy to do it here.
Excellent. So another question from a gentleman outside of Washington, Seattle area. Is there any track, please? Is there any section of the track Unadilla unique? And if you could change any part of the track, what section would that be? So I'll start with Eli and work my way left to right.
Well, screw you, that big steep hill.
Is that unique, or is you'd change it?
Well, it's unique, and then obviously the dirt's unique. You get peppered all day. So if I could do anything, I would take a big rock screen and pull out all the little gravel pieces in it. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but anyway, it's high speed. I think it's probably our most high speed track, and today was exceptionally high speed, like wide open.
Yeah, it was fast, no question about it. And Chase, what's unique about this section of this track to you, and also what would you change?
I would say screw you. I mean, it's something that we don't really see. It's really steep, and it's pretty slow, honestly. There's not much you can really do. You can override it a lot easier than the slower you go, usually the faster it is, and I was kind of butchering the bottom of that corner a little bit in the first moto, and you lose so much time going up that hill. So that and the roost here. I ate a lot of roost first moto, and my arms and stuff do not look good right now. So it's a different track. Washougal probably gets just as bad of roost because it's really firm dirt, but here at the rocks and it also being firm, 450's roost is not fun to eat for 35 minutes. So I would say this, you can't really change the roost that much. It's hard dirt, but for me, I've always enjoyed coming here, and it's a unique track. I think it's a lot different than a lot of them, so that's something cool.
And Jason, when you think of Unadilla, what is the first part of the track that comes to your mind? And if you could change anything, what would you change?
I mean, obviously just the hills, and the way they are. You know, you have gravity cavity, you have screw you, and I kind of wish like even like after the finish, the way the track used to go, where you have like the switchback and stuff like that. I think they made it. It's a little high speed, like jumping into that hole and stuff like that. I thought the older layout was a little bit cool, but I mean, just the roost and everything, it hurts here. It's its own animal, and for me, it's kind of always been a struggle for me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of old school people, when the tree turn went away and they modified it, a lot of us were a little sad to see that, but it's what it is. So, very good. Well, you guys, congratulations. Are you Budds Creek looking forward to it? We'll start just again. Chase, you can start off. Is it a favorite track of yours, or how do you like Budds Creek?
Budds Creek's fun. It's got really good dirt. It was one of my favorites. The last three are really good track. I mean, Paula isn't really my favorite, but I seem to kind of like that track. But I would say Budds Creek and Ironman especially Ironman, are two of my favorite tracks. So I'm looking forward to those. Budds Creek, it could be hot, so that's gonna be interesting. So we haven't really had a hot race yet this year, and I'm assuming we're gonna get some coming here towards the end, and I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, Budds Creek's it's got a good layout, it's got a good flow, and it's definitely a lot slower, I think, which is nice. It's high speed here, which is I don't really love, but it definitely makes you ride a little bit tighter. So I'm looking forward to going there and just the rest of these rounds.
And Eli, how about Budds Creek? Where does it rank on your, of the 11 tracks we visit, where does it rank for you?
Somewhere in the middle. It's a good track. It's not my number one pick, but it's just a good track. Yeah. So I don't much to say about it. If we've got good weather and it doesn't rain a bunch, and it's a fun track to ride.
Very good. Jason, how about yourself, Budds Creek?
I actually really enjoy Budds Creek. Especially, I think the dirt's pretty good there. It's a little bit tighter of a track, but I really enjoy Budds Creek, and I think it should be good.
Well, again, congratulations to the three of you, Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac, and Jason Anderson, for taking the podium here at the Unadilla. I think this was the 36th national they've had here amongst dozens and dozens of international races. So, iconic track indeed, one of our original ones. So, congratulations. We'll see you guys next week at Budds Creek.